I believe I have the most relevant experience of all the candidates for this role. I've served in the RAF for 22 years, have run successful companies, and been an independent member of Cambridgeshire's Police Authority. As the leader of Cambridgeshire County Council, I drove efficiencies across the county whilst protecting frontline services despite significant cuts to funding from this government. I am retired from full-time work and available to give this 100% of my time. I do not believe this role should be combined with being a councillor. It's far too important. I am impatient of unnecessary bureaucracy and expect public services to run efficiently and in the interests of the people they serve. It is time to take the fight to the criminals. The interests of law-abiding citizens and victims must always take precedence over those of the criminals. Those that break the rules must be punished, and those that seek to disrupt our way of life must be taught there are consequences. So if you want a strong, no-nonsense approach to policing and more money spent on frontline services, if you want to see more police officers, reduce speeding and a 101 service that works, if you want a zero-tolerance approach for low-level crime, antisocial behaviour and illegal drug supply, as well as combating rural crime, and if you want somebody with the experience to fight on the national stage for fair funding for our constabulary, then I ask you to vote for me.
Thank you, John. It's great to see so many of you here this evening. As a current council leader of one of the largest district councils in the UK, I'm used to dealing with complex budgets, complex issues, and dealing with some of the most vulnerable people that we have in our society on a daily basis. I've got a long record of service, having served on my council and other councils for 16 years, and I'm proud of my achievements, which are many within my local community. As a council leader, yes, I've had to deal with austerity the same as every other across the country. But one of the things that has always been my byword is getting the front line right, putting the customer, the resident first, and ensuring that frontline services are absolutely protected. As a council leader, I've managed to take 34% out of the budget and still managed to keep every single frontline service alive. And that is hugely important with the police, the way it is and the way it should be. I have been appalled to hear some of the residents that have been telling me today about some of the issues they have in some of the areas of Wisbech. And I will make it my duty to ensure that those are dealt with and you have a police service that is serving your needs. Thank you.
This is my 6th visit to Wisbech, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and then a little bit about my plans. I was a firefighter for 30 years, served on the front line for all of that time, worked in emergency services, so I have a very clear idea about the problems of running an emergency service, which is always in austerity. I then went on to university, did a first degree, and wrote a public service degree. I have a PhD in public service culture now, which I gained as a mature student. I'm currently a Cambridge City Councillor, and on our council, since the Labour Party's been in power, we haven't cut any services. My vision for the future, my vision is about fostering a spirit of cooperation. I will make the police service more efficient, not by cutting the numbers, not by cutting backroom services, but by engaging the police with the community, in attending meetings similar to this. As the Police and Crime Commissioner, taking off my jacket and sitting down with people and listening to what they want. I've been doing that throughout the county. I visited 35 locations within the county. I will bring a senior police officer with me to, say for example, Wisbech. I will bring them here, we will sit down, you will talk to the police officer, you will tell them what's wrong, you will set a priority for that police service, that police officer, it will become my priority. The Commissioner's job is to set the priority for policing, so if you give us a problem and we come up with an answer to that, then I will see that actually comes into being. I'm a can-do sort of guy. I come from a background of being a can-do sort of guy. And I'm the sort of person that you've got to look into my eyes and say, do I trust you, Dave? Do I think that you can do what you're going to say you're going to do? Or are you just making another spiel? Are you just saying the same things? Under the Labour Party, there were 18,000 extra police officers brought into being. Since 2010, we've lost those 18,000 police officers. When people tell me they don't see police officers in Wisbech, then you have to ask why.
I'm going to keep this a little shorter than the others, just a bit more time for questions. I'm Rupert Morsekart. I'm the Liberal Democrat candidate. Why would you vote for me? Well, I will reduce crime. I know how to. I can make the force an exemplar of best practice, and I can reconnect the force with the community it serves. I grew up in Welney. I have no idea how many times I've been to Wisbech. It's been lots of times. Tax discs, the whole shamoz. And I worked and lived in Cambridge for some time, and I live in Queen Adelaide. So I'm familiar with bits of the county, across the county. I know where things happen, I know what's going on, I can service the whole area. A while ago, I helped set up an organisation called the National Centre for Policing Excellence. It was a national body established to help develop what they call doctrine, best practice in policing to achieve demonstrable results in reducing crime, improving the way the police worked. I've also gone on to do different things now with BT, providing security advice to, amongst other things, law enforcement agencies. So I have experience and knowledge of techniques and ways of working that deliver results for communities. I also drive for openness and transparency. As a county councillor, I forever had to fight against certain leaders of the county council in order to hide things. I tried to force them out in the open. I will set priorities in public, involving the community and their leaders to make sure local priorities are what the local people want. And so, in summary, to save a bit more time, I will reduce crime, I will improve the force, and I'll be open and transparent to serve you best.